Thank you for joining us for Golf Smarter Mulligans number 65. I'm Fred Green. Lynn Anderson has been through the TPI certification. That's the Titleist Performance Institute certification, and she's going to address off-season conditioning. Welcome to Golf Smarter, Lynn.
Thank you, Fred.
How are you?
Great.
Can you tell me what the Titleist Performance Institute is all about?
Yeah, it's the ability for anybody that's certified under Titleist Performance to find physical issues with the golfer. They have directly linked swing flaws with biomechanical issues. So it's pretty neat how they've been able to really kind of bridge a gap that a lot of people haven't been able to do. They've kind of identified 12 common swing flaws. They know, and we know there's multiple swing issues going on, but they've really identified what they consider the top 12. And then, like I said, you can go either way. You can, as a golf professional, look at the swing, identify the swing flaw, and then do some biomechanical testing to verify, is it a body issue or is it a swing issue? And vice versa. A trainer can do a biomechanical screening, and then if there's some issues that are showing up there, they can link them to the swing issue.
And how does one become certified?
You do need to. They have multiple sites around the area. It's a weekend-long program. They cram as much information in you in 2 days, and then you take a test. And if and when you pass the test, then you are certified. There are different levels, too. There's level 1, 2, and 3. So there's multiple levels of certifications. And there's also multiple avenues you can take. They have a medical field. They have a fitness avenue. They have a golf professional avenue. So it kind of fits anybody that wants to, again, incorporate the body and the swing. So it's pretty neat.
Wow. And once you get certified, then you're out on your own, or you're always part of the, I guess you get to hang on your window that you are a Titleist Performance Institute certified instructor, and you go out and you're independent at that point, or you're always working with Titleist?
Yeah, I mean, you are independent, yet they have multiple resources, which is, again, a tribute to them that you can use. I mean, I have access to them physically by cell phone as a certified Titleist. I have, people should really get on their website because it just will blow you away with the multiple of layers they have done with information that you can gather. I mean, if I have any questions or issues or see something kind of, a little different than I haven't seen, I can go into the website, kind of Google it, so to speak, and most likely there'll be pages and pages of information that I can draw upon, to either educate myself about that or certain drills that I should be incorporating. I mean, multiple things. So, again, you're not just really out there all by yourself, so to speak, but yet, you are independent, too. So.
So when you were describing the swing flaws being matched with biomechanical issues, so we're really talking about the combination of physical attributes and what mistakes, and help me if I'm getting this right or wrong, what your body position and your body flexibility and strengths are, and tie that to the golf swing?
Yes, exactly.
Really? It's an exactly? I did that right?
Yeah, you're very good, Fred. You're listening. Yeah, exactly. Phew. Yeah, I mean, it's really simple, and yet obviously this golf swing is very complex. The swing itself, if you broke it down biomechanically, and if you had a degree like that, like I do, to break it down, but you take something like everyone's familiar with, the dreaded lateral move, or what's called a slide or a sway in the golf swing. If I see that going on, I know 2 or 3 screenings, I can put these guys on right away and then either rule in or rule out. Yeah, you got some, internal hip rotation limitations going on that's going to cause you to lateral sway all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So, don't pay me to do show you drills. We got to get you in the gym and give you one or two exercises to overcome this limitation. Then we can bridge it to the swing. You'll never accomplish it in the swing till we address it for a body, in the gym, so to speak.
Well, it's really, I guess that's the most prevalent issue is the sway, that slide from left to right for a right-handed golfer. I'm assuming it is. That's why you brought it up. But it's so interesting because in the first year plus that I was doing the Golf Smarter podcast, I suffered from that and didn't realize it. But what I did know is that I had a lot of lower back pain after a round of golf. Yeah. And once it was identified and I was able to quiet down my lower half of my body, in concert with the fact that I was doing core strengthening classes a couple times a week, I rarely have back pain anymore at all.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
It's truly amazing, plus the fact that I've added distance to my golf shots.
Yes, which is always a plus.
Yeah.
We all are searching
as long as I
that.
recognize that I've added distance to each club so that I can know what I'm hitting the distance-wise.
Right.
So so you have common swing flaws, and those 12 swing flaws that you identify, are those all associated with various aches and pains?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
yep.
So my elbow hurts.
Yep, most likely you've got, which one, right or left?
Left, I'm right-handed.
Left, and is it out or inner elbow?
So identify... so if it's...
Like on top?
So if if I'm standing up with my hands down by my side,
yes.
It's towards the front on the outside, right?
Okay, so at impact, most likely what's happening is the old dreaded kind of flying elbow. So you've got a breakdown in the left elbow at impact. If I freeze-framed your impact position, if I drew a line down the left shoulder, starting at the left shoulder down, straight down, your arms, hands, and left thigh should all be in line. And most likely, if you drew a line, your left elbow is going to be bowing out from that line. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I can almost...
So it's not a grip issue, it's really an alignment issue.
Well, it could. You'd want to look at the grip, and that could be caught right.
I'm just making that up.
Yeah, but good point, though. Exactly. Why are you doing that? You got to look at that, obviously. So, yes, you'd first look at the grip. Could be posture. It could be multiple of things. But I'm just telling you, at impact, that's what's happening, which is causing your elbow pain. So, again, that's why this is so crucial. You might, and so that I would actually be checking on limitations actually with your lower body, too, because maybe you're not firing your lower body. The lower body's getting stuck. The hands and club are, so to speak, colliding with the hips because the hips aren't being cleared out. So the elbow now has to bend and get out of its way. The hips or the lower half didn't get out of the way. Yeah. So maybe it's more lower. I mean, you see the bent elbow and you think right away, elbow, okay, it's an upper body issue, but it could just almost more likely be a lower body issue.
It's a new pain, too. I mean, it's only been over the last month. And, of course, it mostly pops up in sand shots and thick rough, which I have a lot of those. Oh,
come on. My theory is just don't hit there.
Oh, okay. You've made it so simple. Well, it's great to talk to you, Lynn. It's like
come on.
Just sum it right up there. Just stay away from that. That's so easy.
Exactly. Come on.
Do most people, when they come to you or come to a certified Titleist Performance Institute instructor, realize that their aches and pains may be associated with something in their swings? Or is it like aha moments that happens when you say, you know what, I bet you're having a pain right here because look at your swing?
Yeah, it's a ha-ha moment. Like, how do you know? Yep. Never seen you play, a shot, but I've seen one swing, and I can tell you. Or if I see the chicken wing, and I'll ask, do you have elbow? No. Well, it's not if you are, it's when you are. You will get it. I mean, that's how dramatic I put it, and it's true. I mean, I can bet my house on it. You will get it.
Oh, don't do that. This is not a time of your life where anybody should be betting their house.
Well, this is true, but that's how, how it works. So again, then we have to, then I got to do some screenings. Where is it coming from? What's the originator of that move? Why are they doing that, And again, if there's no body limitations and they're yet chicken winging, but nothing's going on, then it's a swing issue. It's just they don't know that that's the position, that they need that arm to be straight. So now you work it through a golf drill.
Interesting.
I put it like it's like going to a doctor,
Right.
The doctor gives you multiple tests to find out the root of the issue. He just wouldn't say, see a little something and go, oh, for sure you have that, like a sore throat. Oh, okay, it's sore throat. Maybe it's a virus that's going on in the test. Who knows? So you have to check it all to really find the root of the issue. Mm-hmm. That's how you can get your players to advance much quicker.
We've had a lot of golf fitness people on this program, and we've talked about various exercises and stretches and flexibility and yoga and Pilates and those things. But I guess what I'm understanding is that as a certified instructor for Titleist Performance Institute, that you're a golf instructor who also has a full comprehension of the physical aspects of how to help somebody physically, both in pain and in flexibility.
Yeah, I have that.
You incorporate all that stuff.
Yeah, right. We have a unique situation because I have both those elements, and I'm certified and degrees in those. But how they also with the Titleist, and they do is they're promoting relationships and teams. So you get the fitness director or the fitness Titleist Performance, and then you have the swing coach, and they work as a team to do the proper screenings and figure out exactly what the issue is. Where here, obviously, we don't need the two because I'm 2 in 1, so to speak. But yes, that's how you would do it if you didn't have those two together combined like that.
So, and you work with Totally Driven and Andy Thompson, who was on the program a couple of episodes back. And so you're able to, Andy's, got the whole club fitting system going on, and he's got the full range of everything at Totally Driven. Yes. But you're able to incorporate the Titleist Performance Institute as well with what he offers?
Yeah. Yep, exactly. So then you've got, your other components, which obviously is the equipment side of it, and Totally Driven, and Andy handles that piece of it. So there is that team atmosphere here, absolutely, because we also incorporate the mental side of it. So we have multiple, components under one roof. Right,
and you're near the Twin Cities of Minnesota.
Minnesota, yes.
Right.
We are.
So what happens in the off season with you guys?
Busy, very busy.
Tell me.
We're actually an inside facility.
You're an indoor facility. Well, that makes sense since you're indoors most of the year.
Yeah, don't rub it in, Fred, but yes, it's true. And we do have reciprocal.
I'm only grinning, I'm not snickering, I promise.
Okay, good. You're lucky. No. And we do have outside reciprocal. We just had a putting clinic outside last night. We got one Saturday. So we have multiple things outside, but we are an indoor facility.
And you have Jeff Mangum Andy's a Jeff Mangum disciple, as well as being certified with Putting Zone.
We both are Putting Zone certified under Jeff Mangum.
Oh, we're all big fans of Jeff.
Yes, it's great.
When people come to you, are they, most of the time, are they reacting to an injury, or are they trying to prevent injury? Or do they even realize that, I should be trying to prevent injuries?
They don't know that.
They don't know, sure.
Oh, they wait till the pain, unfortunately. And the body works. I wish it was a little different, but you're going to do something repetitively for multiple days to weeks to months. sometimes to years before the body will actually feel the pain. I wish it was the opposite. Once you did something kind of incorrectly, the body would shoot a warning sign so you could correct it right away. That'd be
then
ideal.
It would really hurt.
Yeah, it would be ideal. Right. So, no, most humans, we wait till the pain and then go, I got this kink in my neck, and I, been dealing with this, driving pain through my arm, Well, that most likely is because of something you've been doing over time, over and over and over and over. So, but again, we have great success with people that, come in with pain. We get them on the program, again, because we're identifying the strengths and the weaknesses, putting them on a program that's very specific to them. It's not a cookie cutter. They're finding results, and they're finding that they're waking up pain-free, playing pain-free. I mean, isn't that what it's all about?
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
So if this pain in my left elbow has been building up over time, I suspect that it's not going to go away quickly either.
No, unfortunately, that is
I didn't want to hear that.
Chronic, more of a chronic, icing, massaging the area, limiting that movement, where you can try to avoid it for a long period of time.
Well, I'm in a 12-month-a-year area of golf, so does that mean I should be moving to Minnesota during the winter so I can avoid playing golf for 6 months?
Well, we welcome you here, obviously, anytime, right. Fred, but I won't go that far.
I'll tell you something. There was a period of time during the 90s that the Minnesota Twins were a client of mine. Okay. And so I would go back a couple times a year during baseball season, and when I first got my program set up at the Metrodome, I went out. It was in May, and we had night games, obviously, and I remember renting a bicycle one afternoon because I wasn't playing golf at the time. I rented a bicycle and went riding for the entire day. I mean, I just rode for hours and hours, and it was a glorious, glorious day. And I came back. At the end of the day, I was at the ballpark, and I was working with Mark Weber, a guy who was with the marketing department for the Twins, and I said, wow, what a spectacular day. If you had days like this most of the year, they'd call it California. And his response was, well, that's why we have winter, to keep the riffraff out.
Yeah, there you go.
So don't tell me you'd welcome me there. I don't believe you in 1 second.
Well, you have to go through an interview process.
And your Germanic roots are from where? Let's talk about different exercises. How do you feel about Pilates? I'm going to just rack them off the list.
I do it myself. Yep, every Friday. I love it. I think it's great. Again, I do have some issues, so I take that to the Pilates. There's certain things in Pilates that I know that aren't good for me. That's the only stickler. I mean, not every general population can just jump in a Pilates class and go through all that. I mean, so I would advise getting a screening through a fitness person, a trainer, a physical therapist, something where and they'll help you let you know what you shouldn't be doing and why and all that. So you go in. But yes, Pilates is excellent.
And what about yoga?
Yoga is absolutely great, too. It's kind of the same thing. You're just going in knowing more your limitations and strengths and what have you, so you don't hurt yourself. But again, I've done some yoga, and to me that's a little bit more the mental and getting within, which we know as golfers is very important. We got to be able to turn our mind off and turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. So, yep, yoga's great also.
And do you find one being a better or more difficult discipline to adhere to than the other?
I think people individually are going to find one harder over the other, not across the board like that.
And what about advantages for a golfer, one versus the other?
No, I think, again, they're both can be very positive, and yet if you've got a weakness and you jump in and you don't know it, you can hurt yourself. So, and a good instructor is going to be a key to that, too, where they're really looking at people's forms and walking around the classroom and really individually, even though it may be a group lesson, they're walking around and really taking eye of your technique.
Let's go to a different extreme there on exercise, which is, golf is one thing, but you really have to combine it with some sort of exercise. Weight bearing or resistance workouts.
Yeah, I think, again, they all have their place. That has a place. Again, our kind of philosophy is you got to build the house from the ground up. So the ground or the basic level is stability. Stability is the stabilizing joints. Mobility, which is movement of joints. Balance and posture. And almost across the board, there's going to be weaknesses in one of at least of those four areas. So you've got a foundation that isn't strong, and then you've got to identify those and deal with those and make your foundation as strong as possible so you can build up. The next level then would be more power and strength. Then your next level will be more explosive movements, ballistic movements. Then you're working on endurance. So you've got kind of a pyramid or levels, so to speak. So again, someone that has maybe some issues in the foundation, they grab weights and doing some more power, explosive, any work like that. Injuries would be my number one concern. Mm-hmm. Two, again, you're building off of a weak foundation, so that's not always good. You're probably building. The biggest thing with injuries isn't weakness, it's imbalance. So if my right hamstring is very strong and my left is really weak, that's where you're going to more so see injury than if I had just a weak right hamstring and a weak left hamstring.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. So again, I just grab weights and just, pump iron. I mean, I could be just increasing the imbalance. I'm making the strong stronger, and I'm making the weak a little stronger, but you still are going to have the same imbalance going on.
I'm not one for weight-bearing exercises. I don't know why. It's just never connected with me, working out with weights and stuff. But I do like to swim, yes, which is a tremendous amount of resistance, and it's balanced. I got to believe it's balanced. Yep. But it's not something that I'm really pushing. Mm-hmm. It's not, I don't try to go as fast as I possibly can for as long as I possibly can. I'll probably do a steady pace for a half hour or so. So that helps, obviously, in endurance.
Yes, absolutely.
But does it also help in other ways?
Yeah, like you said,
Swimming?
I mean, when you're talking about endurance, you're talking about the cardiac, the heart, basically. So the heart is a muscle. So you're working, your number one muscle, the heart. So that obviously is good. When you talk about non-weight bearing, you're talking obviously that you're not pounding joints. So running would be a weight bearing, swimming would be a non-weight bearing, biking would be non-weight bearing. So anytime you can avoid heavy joint pounding, I think is always better.
So and that would fall under running, wouldn't it?
Running is a really weight-bearing. I mean,
and
probably,
pounding. Serious pounding.
Serious, because you're taking your weight, plus you can almost double it because you're pounding, and all those joints are just pounding away. So, I do not advise weight-bearing. You may do that once in a blue moon to kind of shock the system, so to speak, but really overall I would not recommend that at all. Swimming, that's great. Fred is one of the number one training. Yeah, so good job. Keep it up.
Thank you. Yeah. So, all right, there's the misnomer that people love to throw in your face when you play golf. Golf isn't an exercise, but if you walk, you're walking, let's call it 4 miles, if you walk the course.
Yeah.
That's about 4 miles, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what tee you're playing from. You still have to walk the back tees.
Absolutely.
And, I love to walk golf courses, and where I live in Northern California, it's not necessarily flat around here. We have a lot of hills. So, there are times where I get to the ball and I need to take a break because I'm huffing and puffing just because of the hills.
Sure.
But I don't carry my bag, so that's the weight resistance because I don't like what my back feels like at the end of that. So I use a push cart.
Yep, very good.
But walking 4 miles on a golf course over a period of day, that's exercise, isn't it?
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on.
I would dispute anyone that, yeah, exactly. Absolutely, it's exercise. And like I said, the swing itself is such a complex movement for the body to do, and then to do it over and over and repeat it over and over and do it in a consistent
at least 150
manner.
times, yeah.
Yeah, one fit right,
Well, I mean, if you're taking one practice swing and you shoot a 90, okay, so then you're taking at least 120 swings because you're not swinging like on the putting.
Putting,
right? Exactly. So you're taking, and if you take
but
2 practice swings per shot, I mean, that's a lot of swinging.
Oh, absolutely. And you're swinging anywhere from 50 to 100 and some miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
An obstacle, you're swinging around your body, and you're trying to do it in a control, of balance, stability, mobility, staying in the right posture, all of that. Yeah. Good luck.
Have you come across anybody that would suggest, hey, I like doing this sort of exercise, or I prefer this, and you have said, that's really not a good exercise if you want to play golf?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or probably more so there's sports that aren't all that good. Not so much exercise, again, unless they don't have good stability and mobility, and they're trying to bench press a lot. You know what I mean? Doing some heavy lifting or that kind of stuff. But there's definitely sports that aren't really good cross sports for golfers if you're taking your game serious per se. And there's other ones that are better suited, for cross training.
And what sports would those be? That's really interesting. Heavy bodybuilding.
Yeah, bodybuilding would not be good, and I've had a few of those in.
Really, I can't remember ever seeing a bodybuilder out on a golf course. They can't swing. They have no flexibility.
No, they have no flexibility, and their chest and neck are so thick, and you can't get them rotated. And I had a football player from the University of Minnesota, big linesman, trying to pick up this game. I tell you, tell him that it's not an athletic sport. I mean, that guy was sweating after his lesson, just dripping wet and frustrated as all get out because he's used to success, and he was not having the success he wanted.
Yeah.
So, heavy lifting, what have you. I was actually a tennis pro before golf, and that gets in the way, forehand where I'm bringing my tennis racket excessively inside, is not the path of the golf swing. So I always struggle with my golf takeaway as being pretty excessively getting it inside too quick because of my tennis move.
Really? So tennis and golf really are not complements?
No.
Wow.
Unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah. So you would, want to stay away from that, obviously. Again, if you're serious. I mean, but yeah.
And I'm sure we can spend another half hour, if we had it, to just talk about nutrition.
Yes.
And how that impacts a golfer, and how to actually, if you can, why don't you give us a great in-round nutrition tip? What's your favorite?
Eat every 3 holes. So you're a grazer. Mm-hmm. So most of us, if we're lucky, we may grab something, a hot dog or something in between 9. But most of us will just grab a beer or, something very non-nutritional and then after the round. But I tell you what, again, your body is burning a lot of calories. I don't care if you're walking. Obviously, you're walking, it's more. But if you're not, you still are burning. You're out in the sun, and you need to eat, and it doesn't have to be big. When I say grazing, that's what I'm referring to, something little, some peanuts, a handful of peanuts every third hole, a bite of a peanut butter sandwich, a bite or two, and then always drinking water or Gatorade. So, most of us don't realize, but the backside, to the pro, that's where I blow up. I'm 13, 14, 15, I just blow up. I don't seem, most likely that's because of they didn't graze. They're hungry. Their body's starving and it's breaking down, and their endurance is they're losing their endurance and what have you. So that would be my number one, and I think people would be very surprised how they can keep their energy up all the way through 18 holes if they kept that rule in mind.
I'll tell you, it's a fact for me. I've learned that I cannot eat on the ninth, at the turn.
No, wait till, exactly. No, first of all, you start getting fatigued a little bit, 7, 8, and 9, and you may not even realize it because you're not sweating like you're playing basketball or something. So it kind of sneaks up on you, doesn't it? And then you pound down something big on 9, and really the body takes a while to digest it and take it in, and then build up the energy that you need. So by the time that's happening, that's like 16 or 17. So it's really pretty much too late at that point.
It's so interesting that you say that, because I've noticed before I started doing, and it's interesting you say every 3 holes, I just pretty much graze through an entire round. But before I was doing that, if I grabbed a turkey sandwich or a hot dog at the turn, not only would I have 3 terrible holes right after that, but then it would get to be where I would hit the wall on the 15th or 16th. Or as my friends would say, the wheels are starting to fall off. Well, and it's more about your body not, and your mind just getting fatigued than it is about, you just can't handle it. Probably a nutrition element to it. I think that's an excellent tip. Thank you.
You bet.
Lynn Anderson of Totally Driven and a certified Titleist Performance Institute instructor. This has been really interesting, and I hope that we can get some tips from you as far as getting some more Titleist people to come on and talk with us. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Fred.